I said I was going to talk about some hard truth. So here it is, man. This is the truth. This is me. My accident several months ago, about 10 months ago, was pretty bad. In fact, it was really bad. And turns out that I broke my hip. I had an x-ray a few weeks ago. The x-ray showed that my hip bone broke, and something happened when my top of my femur went maybe crashing into the socket part there, and it seems like it broke it there. So now I'm kind of in a dilemma, in a quagmire. Sometimes I don't know who to talk to. I talk to everybody and ask for everybody's advice, and at the same time everybody's pulling me in one direction and the other direction. And the fact is that I'm gonna need some hip surgery. I need some serious hip surgery because I can't walk well, and it hurts like hell, and my leg is like this much shorter than the other. And I'm not the type of person to complain, and I'm certainly not the type of person that is asking for pity. You know, empathy is nice. So I appreciate that. Now, the good side of this is that perhaps it's a message from above or from wherever for me to kind of calm down and act my own age a little bit, you know? I am 60 and been hanging out with a bunch of young people like in their 20s and stuff, and it keeps you young and it's a blast, but maybe I can't keep doing this all the time. Maybe it's kind of time to turn the page and get a little more serious. The main thing I can't do with the young people is dance, and I love to dance, man, and I'm good at it. Really, ask my friends. But anyways, I love to dance. I wanted to learn kizomba, I want to learn salsa, all these kind of things, and now it's kind of screwed. I can't really do that. So now the one thing I can do is I can sail. I can get around my boat because there's always something to hang on to, you know. It's made me a little stronger in the arms and stuff. So I can sail. The next thing is where do I sail to? Well, thank you for the COVID pandemic and all that crap. Been kind of stuck here, which has been a blessing at the same time, but maybe if I hadn't been stuck here, I wouldn't have broken my hip. So here are some of the solutions and suggestions that I've gotten. I could try to get some surgery done here, but everybody recommends not to. I mean, they have their limited capabilities here. The other thing is I could go perhaps to Senegal and Dakar. Now, there's some apparently good doctors there, and it's close. It's only about 3 or 4 days sail, and I could anchor there. I could recover in my boat. I could stay, you know, in Dakar, and prices look more cost effective, more like in the 10 grand or something like that, but that's still 10 grand to come up with. Then I could look into going perhaps in the Gambia. Perhaps I could do an exchange there. There's a doctor who studied in England and practiced in England and is, you know, operating on people there and doing major surgery, and he did the first knee replacement surgery there on an old lady. Perhaps I could be the first hip replacement surgery on an old white man doing it in Africa, you know, so could be a nice story. So I have to contact him and see if that's even a possibility or feasibility. Then there's the possibility of going to Mexico. I spent a lot of time in Mexico, and they have a great healthcare system there. They have universal care, and with little money, sometimes they'll care for you, even foreigners. I lived there for a while, and they had a system there that they cleaned your teeth for free, and that was for foreigners. You could go to the emergency room, and they would treat you for free. Of course, they got private clinics and all that for, you know, medical tourism, and you can pay top dollar. But there might be a way of doing that. And I trust them. I love Mexico. I love Mexicans, and I trust their system. So that's a possibility too. But that's like a 3 to 4 week, perhaps more, sail away. So anyways, I'm up for the adventure. And firstly, I should say, I'm waiting to talk to my dear cousin, Boris. Boris is a PhD doctor. Boris perhaps is not a orthopedic surgeon, but he knows people, and he's a knowledgeable doctor. He's got a PhD from Karolinska Institute in Sweden, studied in Cornell University in New York. He's been all over the world, and I trust his opinion, so I'm just waiting to speak to him face to face. He wants to know exactly what happened and see what kind of suggestion and solutions he offers. So I just spoke to my cousin, and it was great to speak to him. It's been a long time. He just turned 60 this year too. Anyways, we got to catch up a little bit, but he wanted to know exactly what happened. So I kind of briefly went through my accident, how I was thrown against a rock by a wave onto my ass, and it felt like my hip had been dislocated. And then I went to a hospital there, and it was on a small island called Sao Nicolau. There's only a population of about 30,000 people there, so it's a tiny little hospital. They did an x-ray and thought that I needed to get further care at a bigger island like here in Mindelo. So I spent a few days in the hospital. I told them, that I bruised really bad around my lower abdomen and all my private parts and stuff. Things kind of got better, and then I moved back to my boat, and I was in such pain that there was no way that I could go back to Mindelo, because I would have to take a ferry, and that would have been horrible, and then I would have had to leave Galopin there at anchor, and it was pretty windy those times, and I just didn't feel comfortable leaving him there by himself. So I decided to stay for a month, hoping to recuperate and then sail back to Mindelo, which is what I did. And I kind of felt better and thought, I'm going to get over this and stuff, but I didn't. So then I tell him later that I went to get other x-rays and other opinions from different doctors. And then when I did the x-rays, I sent them to him, and what it shows is what you just saw, that it was a really bad break. He said that I basically need some kind of major surgery, like hip replacement surgery or something like that. He knows my situation. I'm living on a boat off a very limited income that I make from YouTube and from mostly my patrons, and thank you so much, patrons, because you are keeping me alive. Also, I'm not insured. At least me, I'm not insured. My boat is insured, but me, I'm not insured. Why? Well, because I thought that, if I have an accident, I can always go to a local hospital and get treated there, and cost effective in some of these third world countries and stuff. And that has been the case. I've had a few little issues, and I went to local clinics and was, treated, and it was really cheap compared to what I would have paid in the industrial world. Well, now, since I can't be treated here, because this is pretty major and I need major surgery, I'm kind of screwed, because I spent all my savings taking care of my dear Galopin and just, surviving. But yeah, Galopin has been getting better care than I have. And so anyways, back to what my cousin suggested. He bluntly and flatly said, go back to Switzerland. This is something I wasn't really prepared to do. I don't really want to go back to Europe. And I thought, I don't have insurance, and will they take care of me? And he said, of course they'll take care of you. He said, do you have a Swiss passport? And I said, of course I have a Swiss passport. He said, are you vaccinated? Or probably not. I said, yeah, I'm vaccinated. He said, I'm not one of these anti-vaccine people. I'm not so pro-vaccine. But anyways, he thought that because I was in Africa, there was limited vaccination. And here, completely the opposite. Population of this island is about 70 to 80% vaccinated, if not more, and it's all free. And yeah, I got my double vaccine. And then he asked me, what brand did you get? I told him, AstraZeneca. He said, perfect, so you got a passport and you're vaccinated, you can go back to Switzerland. You just go to a hospital and go to the emergency room and tell them what happened. I'm like, well, which hospital? He says, like the big university hospital in Lausanne, Switzerland. He said, yeah, go there, it's called the Schoof. You tell them what happened, tell them that you're in dire pain and that you were stuck in Cabo Verde, which is true. I couldn't go back to Europe during the pandemic. There were no flights out of here. It was really complicated. And then I didn't have a vaccine. So now you've had to wait, 10 months, and now you're in, extreme pain, which is somewhat true. Can't walk. And they have to fix you up. That is the law there. You're a Swiss citizen. They are responsible for their citizens. And he said, don't worry, they're going to set you up with a social worker, and then you tell them that, you live off between $600 to $700 a month, and you have no savings, and you're, 60, and you need this care. And the social worker will deal with you, and you should get treated. So thank you, Boris, for, giving me the suggestion and giving me hope and faith in my system over there in Switzerland. I was a little bit afraid that I'd just have to, pay through the wazoo, but looks like that I can do that. So that's the next thing now I have to plan. So anyways, certainly puts a twist in my whole vintage voyage story. Looks like I'm not going to be sailing for a while. Oh, there's some wind today. But we'll see where this chapter of my journey takes me, and hopefully takes me back to my boat in pretty good shape, better shape, so I can continue my adventures. But we're still here in Mindelo, and it hasn't been dull here the past few weeks, as you will see in next week's episode. It was great to have you along on this voyage. If you enjoyed your trip, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe. You'll really help us navigate better. Me and my boat Galopin promise you a good time every Wednesday, so welcome aboard.